That cute Hawaiian shirt uniform is hiding some of the absolute worst grocery markups in America. You probably walk into Trader Joe's for a $3 bottle of wine and somehow walk out $150 poorer, clutching a bag of frozen Mandarin orange chicken, entirely convinced you just scored a massive bargain. You didn't. You fell for a masterclass in psychological pricing. Over my 15 years analyzing retail supply chains, wholesale margins, and grocery pricing strategies, I've tracked exactly how supermarkets systematically empty your wallet while making you smile about it. And nobody does it better than the friendly folks ringing a brass bell at the checkout. We all love the aesthetic. The hand-drawn chalk signs are charming, and the seasonal pumpkin spice overload is hard to resist. But right now, your grocery bill is suffocating your monthly budget, and buying the wrong cult classics. Here is a massive reason why. Here is the reality check. The produce section at Trader Joe's is practically a financial trapdoor. You see those perfectly stacked, pre-packaged bags of bell peppers or those plastic-wrapped Honeycrisp apples. They look convenient. They look pristine. You are paying an exorbitant premium for heavy packaging, and you aren't even getting top-tier freshness in return. Because of their centralized distribution model, a lot of that produce spends way more time sitting in a truck than the loose items at your local regional grocer. You are paying premium prices for vegetables that are going to turn into a sad, mushy science experiment in your crisper drawer 3 days from now. And watch out for the single-unit pricing trick. They sell you a single apple or a single bell pepper for a flat rate instead of by the pound. It feels cheap because the number is small, like 99 cents. But when you actually weigh that small piece of fruit, you quickly realize you are paying double the per-pound average of a standard supermarket. But it actually gets worse when we hit the meat department. You know those vacuum-sealed, pre-marinated meats? The carne asada, the shawarma chicken thighs, the pesto breasts? They are universally beloved on social media. People absolutely rave about them as weeknight lifesavers. Flip that package over and look at the fine print. You are paying upwards of $10 to $12 a pound for a product that is heavily pumped full of water, sodium, and cheap seed oils. You are quite literally buying expensive tap water and paying a massive premium for the convenience of someone else dumping a 10-cent packet of industrial spices into a plastic bag. I know this sounds crazy, but stick with me. If you just bought the plain chicken thighs sitting exactly 2 feet away and a bottle of their own soyaki sauce, you would save roughly 40% on the meal and get a vastly superior dinner without the added water weight shrinking your meat in the pan. If you are tired of overpaying at the checkout line and want the inside track on how to keep more of your own money, hit that subscribe button. I'm tearing down these retail illusions every single week here on Cost Kaka to make sure you never get ripped off again. Now, you might be asking yourself, what about the frozen aisle? That is the holy grail of this store, right? We have to talk about the frozen rice and grains. The organic brown rice boxes. The quinoa. People swear by these because they take exactly 3 minutes in the microwave and come out fluffy every single time. You are paying almost $5 for slightly over a pound of cooked, frozen rice. A 3-pound bag of the exact same organic dry rice sits just an aisle away, costs less than that, and yields 10 times the amount of food. They are charging you a 900% markup for the privilege of boiling water for you. Think about it. You are sacrificing a massive chunk of your weekly food budget for something a $20 rice cooker could automate for you in the background while you chop an onion. The frozen aisle is an absolute minefield of these invisible convenience taxes, all disguised as quirky, must-have culinary discoveries. But there is one specific frozen fan favorite, a legendary item people buy in bulk, that is arguably the biggest ripoff in the entire store. It is draining your wallet faster than anything else I've mentioned, and I guarantee it is sitting in your freezer right now. We have to talk about the Mandarin orange chicken. It is the undisputed heavyweight champion of the frozen aisle. People treat this orange bag like it's a Michelin-starred meal for $5. But let's look at the actual math. Half of that bag's weight is thick, sugary breading and two massive packets of frozen sauce that are mostly high-fructose corn syrup and water. When you actually air fry or bake that chicken, the protein content is shockingly low for the price per pound. You are effectively paying premium meat prices for fried dough and sugar water. And it gets worse when you look at the world cuisine section. The frozen Indian meals, the butter chicken and the tikka masala, are legendary. They are the ultimate "I'm too tired to cook" backup plan. But have you noticed the portion sizes lately? They have shrunk. You are paying nearly $6 for a tiny tray that is 60% white rice. If you bought a jar of their own curry sauce and a pack of frozen chicken breasts, you could make 4 times the amount of food for the same price. But they've trained us to think in units instead of volume. You see a $5.99 price tag and think cheap lunch, but on a per ounce basis. You're paying restaurant prices to eat out of a plastic tray in your kitchen. Now, I know this sounds crazy because we all love a good snack, but stick with me as we move into the middle of the store. The snack aisle is where the psychological warfare really peaks. This is the land of the stuffed pretzels and the rolled corn tortilla chips. Here is the secret. Trader Joe's doesn't actually have a factory. They are a private label powerhouse. That means they find a big-name brand, ask them to tweak the recipe slightly, and put a quirky Trader Jose's or Trader Joe's label on it. Most of the time, this is a win for you. But in the snack aisle, they often use this to hide massive markups on air. Take the freeze-dried fruit or the veggie crisps. These bags are feather light. You feel like you're getting a deal because the bag is $3.99. But if you look at the price per ounce, you are paying upwards of $30 to $40 a pound for dried strawberries. It's a luxury price point disguised in a crunchy, healthy snack bag. And let's be real, those veggie snacks? They are mostly potato starch and corn flour with a whisper of spinach powder for color. It's a glorified potato chip with a health halo marketing budget. I'm telling you this because I want you to stop being a brand devotee and start being a value hunter. If you're finding this deep dive helpful, drop a comment below with the one Trader Joe's item you refuse to give up, even if it's a ripoff. I want to see if I can find you a cheaper alternative. But we can't talk about snacks without talking about the trail mix trap. The Trek mixes are a staple. They've got chocolate, they've got nuts, they've got dried fruit. They look like a bargain compared to the tiny bags at the gas station. But compare them to the bulk bins at a warehouse club or even a standard grocery store. Trader Joe's premixes are heavily weighted toward the cheapest ingredients, peanuts and raisins, while skimping on the expensive stuff like pecans or walnuts. You're paying a curation tax. You are literally paying Trader Joe's to mix cheap ingredients together for you. It takes 30 seconds to buy the components separately and toss them in a bowl, and you'll save 50% instantly. Now, you might be asking, Kaka, surely the pantry staples are safe? Actually, the baking aisle holds one of the most deceptive favorites in the entire building. It's a product everyone buys because it feels artisanal, but it's actually one of the most overpriced items in the store when you look at the actual grade of the product. We have to talk about the artisanal olive oil and the baking staples. You see those beautiful glass bottles with the rustic labels, the Sicilian or California estate extra virgin olive oils. They look like they came straight from a boutique farm, and at $7 to $9. They feel like a steal. But here is the catch. Many of these are blends. If you look at the back, that product of Italy label often includes oils sourced from 5 different countries. In my years tracking global commodity margins, I've seen how these private labels often use lower grade, older harvests to hit that specific price point. You aren't getting the polyphenol-rich, fresh-pressed gold you think you are. You're getting a mass-produced industrial blend in a fancy dress. And don't even get me started on the spices. The everything but the bagel seasoning is a cultural phenomenon. It's on every avocado toast in America. But have you looked at the price per ounce lately? You are paying a massive premium for a tiny glass jar filled mostly with salt and dried garlic. I know this sounds crazy, but you can go to a bulk store or even a standard supermarket, buy those 4 or 5 ingredients in larger quantities, and make enough bagel seasoning to last you a year for the price of 2 of those little TJ's jars. They have turned a basic spice blend into a high-margin accessory for your kitchen. Now, you might be asking, what about the wine? Surely $2 Chuck is still the ultimate win? Let's debunk the Charles Shaw myth once and for all. While it's not $2 anymore, thanks, inflation, it's still incredibly cheap. But there is a hidden cost to extreme budget wine. To hit that price, producers use massive industrial vineyards where machine harvesting picks up everything: stems, leaves, and material other than grapes. Then, they use heavy manipulation in the cellar, adding oak chips for flavor and mega purple for color, to ensure every bottle tastes exactly the same. It's the fast food equivalent of wine. If you just spent $3 more on a bottle from a smaller producer, the jump in quality and the reduction in industrial additives would be astronomical. But it gets even worse when we look at the exclusive labels. Trader Joe's stocks dozens of wines you can't find anywhere else. This isn't because they are scouting tiny vineyards. It's because they create labels specifically to prevent you from price comparing. You can't see that the exact same juice is being sold for $2 less down the street because the label is unique to Joe. It's a brilliant way to protect their margins while making you feel like a sommelier. So, how do you actually win at Trader Joe's without getting fleeced? Here is the secret. Shop for the bridge items. The cheeses are genuinely a great value because they buy in massive volume from European producers. The frozen plain vegetables? Grab them. The flowers? Usually a solid deal. But the second an item becomes convenient, pre-marinated, pre-cooked, or social media famous, the value proposition vanishes into thin air. I'm telling you this because your grocery budget is one of the few things you can actually control in this economy. Don't let a friendly neighborhood vibe trick you into overpaying for waterlogged meat and overpriced rice. You've stayed with me through the whole breakdown, so I know you're serious about your money. If you want to see exactly which items I do buy to save $400 a month on groceries, check out my next deep dive.